Welcome to Content and Conversations, the podcast for entrepreneurs and business owners that want to prioritize connection and relationship as the primary tool to drive sales. Content and conversations are the two most powerful tools you have to attract the most amazing clients, build solid relationships, and sell more stuff. From sales, marketing, energy, and mindset, we'll discuss everything you need to hit your goals, make more money, and have more fun in your business. Let's go. All right. Hello, and welcome back to Content and Conversations. I am your host, Ryan Dowdy, and today we are going to talk about one of my very favorite topics. This is one of my favorite topics because it is the topic of understanding why people buy. Why do they buy? Why do they buy your stuff? Why are they enrolling? Why are they not enrolling? All of those different things. So to talk about my very favorite topic, or one of my very favorite topics, which is why do people buy? Why do they buy? And really, truly understanding that. So we're going to break that apart a couple of different ways. If you're here live, I'm super excited to see you, hear you, hang out with you. For those of you that are listening to this in the podcast, thank you so much. We are so grateful. So let's get down into it. Why do people buy your stuff? Why do they buy? People buy based on emotion and they justify with logic. And if you have been in my world for any amount of time, you've heard me say that before, but today I really want to break apart what that is, what that means, and how that impacts you as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as a content creator, as a marketer inside of your own company. But that's the most important thing we need to realize is that people buy based on emotion and they justify with logic. And the challenge behind that is that most of us tend to market to the logical reasons why people buy our stuff. Of course, we're going to help them make more money. Of course, we're going to help them save money. Of course, we're going to help them lose weight. Of course, we're going to help them have the most amazing relationships, right? So we really focus on the logical things, but really the truth of the matter is that we have to understand the emotions, right? As marketers, as salespeople, it's actually psychology, right? It's really understanding how people are motivated. And for every single one of us, that looks different. That's actually why we don't believe in like cookie cutter solutions for our clients, is because everybody has a different ideal client. Everybody has the person that they serve the best. And that looks different all the time. So why Marcella's person is motivated one way versus why mine is motivated another. We don't really have time to get into that in today's show, but I really want you to understand the emotional reasons why people buy. And so this is the favorite exercise that I love to do with all of our clients, is to really drill down into this. So what I want you to think about is, I want you to think of your offer, like your flagship offer, your favorite offer, the one you sell the most of, the one people really love. Maybe it's the only offer you have, that's fine too. But I want you to really start listing all of the reasons that why people buy it. And you're going to find the first 3, 4, 5 reasons come off of like roll out pretty easily, but then you're going to have to start digging a little bit deeper. So my favorite way to do this is to just keep digging past with the word why. So why do people buy your offer? Because it makes them, because they make more money. Why do they want to make more money? Well, because they want to do this. Why do they want to do that? Because they want to do this. Why do they want to do that? Because they want to do this. And the more whys and the more information that you can get out of asking yourself those whys, the better you are going to be at marketing to your ideal client, because you really want to understand why they want what they want, right? There's plenty of people in the world that want more money, but why do they want it? For me, I serve entrepreneurs. So my entrepreneurs, they want to make more money because they want to make a bigger impact. They want to help more people. Most of the people that we work with are very impact driven. They're very driven by their mission. They're purpose-driven people. So their desire to make more money is really tied to their purpose, to do the work that they want to do in the world, right? Whereas some of you may work with a different audience where they just want to make more money because they want to send their kids to private school, or they want to make more money because they want to buy a boat, right? Like there's a million different reasons why somebody makes more money or wants to make more money, but it's up to us as marketers, as business owners, to really understand what motivates our people. And I find that asking the why question over and over and over again really helps you kind of pull all of that out. And now you have all of this content that you can start creating around the why they buy your stuff, right? We tell people, buy my stuff, you're going to make more money. They're like, cool. Everybody and their dog is promising me to make more money, right? They're going to buy from the brand that feels like it really gets them. So again, that's why I talk so much about purpose and impact in the work that we do, because my people are purpose and impact driven. The work that they do, like I said, they feel like it is aligned to who they are as human beings. It's very integrated in their world. So it's very easy for me to market to. This is how we integrate your voice and your connection point in the work that you do. So you have to find that inside of your target audience. You have to find that inside of your ideal client. If you don't know the answer to that question, if you're like, gosh, like now that you asked that, I really can't get too far into their emotion. This is an awesome opportunity to start booking connect calls with with your ideal clients. And if you haven't listened to the Conversations podcast from last week, go listen to it. But the Content and Conversations podcast from last week was all about conversations. One of the conversations I recommended all business owners be having is the connect call. And the connect call is really kind of that network building call. So it's going to do two things for you, right? It's going to get you the information you need so that you can really market and sell to your ideal client effectively, but it's also going to help you build relationships with your ideal client. So win-win there. So if this part of the exercise feels heavy, if you're like, I'm not 100% sure that I actually know the emotional reasons why my clients buy, then you need to get out there and go start talking to your people. I also want to give you a caveat here. This is not a reason to push pause and go do 100 market research calls and to stop selling. This is just an opportunity for you to think about, how do I make myself a better marketer? How do I sell more effectively to my ideal client? I just have to understand their psychology and how they're motivated and why they're motivated to do what they're doing to make that happen. Okay. So that's the why part, right? Emotion versus logic. So we have all the logical reasons why, the emotional reasons. I literally have just a notes on my phone, like the notes app on my phone, where I'm just constantly writing down ideas and things and all of these different topics about my ideal client. So when I do sit down to create, I have all of these things already prepared. So it's a little bit of my how-to. Other things that are really important when we start understanding why people buy. Do you want empowered buyers or fear-based buyers? Okay. Empowered buyer versus fear-based buyer. So the empowered buyer, right? Your marketing message is going to be more about empowering. How do I empower my people? How do I make them feel better? How do I make them feel, empowered? How do I make them feel good? How do I make them feel excited? How do I inspire them? How do I motivate them? How do I connect with them in a meaningful way, right? So if you have a person who is motivated by being empowered, you want your marketing message to have an empowered tone to it. If you work with an ideal client who is motivated by fear, and let's not kid, a very large percentage of the world is motivated by fear, like it or not, right? Then, okay, cool. Well, maybe my message needs to be a little bit more fear-based. Maybe I need to tell them that I understand their fears. Maybe I need to really be able to talk about their fears really clearly. And it doesn't matter, who your ideal client is. You're always going to market to a little bit of these things. But again, it's understanding, how does the result that I provide for my clients empower them? And how does the results that I provide my clients scare them or help them not be scared, right? And then really asking those types of questions, you're going to come up with a lot of really good marketing content and sales questions to ask, because you want to ask a little bit, right? So it's like the paint me the picture. What does your life look like? We get an opportunity to work together. What does your life look like? How does that feel? Right. But then it's the flip side of it is like, okay, so you stay exactly where you are right now. How does that feel? And so really understanding those things about your ideal client, again, makes you a better marketer, makes you a better salesperson, gives you more direction to take in your sales conversation. So it becomes really easy for people to buy your stuff because, again, they feel seen, heard, and understood. So we talked about emotion versus logic, why 3 times, really understanding their reasons. People buy for their reasons, not yours. That's a very, very important one here, guys. We see this a lot in the people that are like, unfortunately, this falls into the MLM camp. I'm not anti-MLM. But there's a lot of like, help me hit a goal. Like, nobody gives a shit about helping you hit a goal, right? Like, you'll never see me market like, oh, I'm trying to get 45 people in this boot camp. Help me. Like, no, no, I don't want to help you, because what's in it for me, right? So what are their reasons for buying? That's also very, very important. Don't make it about us, make it about them. Make it about what they want, what they get, all of those different things, really, really focused on that side of it. So we've got emotion versus logic, why 3 times, their reasons versus your reasons, empowered versus fear. And again, guys, my goal here, my intention here today is just to give you a lot of questions to start asking yourself about your ideal client. This is some of the work that we do inside of the sales experience, which is our proprietary framework we work all of our clients through, of really understanding how do I make my marketing so much easier. And when we understand these things, when we know why people are buying our stuff, when we can talk to their problems very clearly, it becomes so much easier to sell, right? If you're having a hard time selling on social media right now, it means one of 2 things, right? You're not speaking to these things clearly enough for your ideal client to be like, yes, or you don't have enough of your ideal client in your audience, right? So you either need to grow your audience or you need to get better about speaking about, this is exactly why you need to buy from me. This is exactly why I am the best fit for your services. This is how well I understand you. This is how well I know how you're motivated. This is why this is so important to you, because again, when you can speak to that level of certainty, because you really understand why they buy, certainty wins in sales. Right? Certainty is always going to win in sales, but you can only market from certainty when you really understand these things about your ideal client. So all of the information that I am giving you here today is really an opportunity for you to do a deep dive, if you have not done this in a while, on your ideal client and really understanding who they are as humans. And some of you are maybe getting a little overwhelmed right now. I think that this is an important conversation to have. And you're like, holy shit, right? That's a lot of information. That's a lot of things that I need to know. I know. right? To be an excellent marketer who can convert very easily, you need to know your ideal client inside and out. And the reason I'm really hammering this home is because when I was coaching new entrepreneurs in the beginning of my career back in 2019, 2018, 2019, 2020, I didn't get into all this. I was like, yeah, you don't need to just go get dirty. Like, no, but I'm talking to you right now. And there's so much competition. There's so much noise. There's so many options. There's so many different ways to market now that we can no longer be average marketers. Right? In 2020, you could be an average marketer, you could be an average salesperson, and you could still win. That's not okay anymore, right? Like that's just not going to fly with today's buyer. They are more discerning, they have access to more information, they have more options than ever before. So it is our job as business owners and as marketers and as salespeople to really get good at this stuff right here, even if it feels a little bit overwhelming, because when you master this, all of your marketing becomes easier, right? When you can say, no, I 1000% understand why people are giving me their money every day, you can 1000% show up every day and ask for money and confidence because you know why, because you're certain, because you're confident you're going to be able to serve them in a meaningful way. So let's talk about their words versus ours, right? So that's a really important one too. When we're understanding why our ideal clients buy, we want to use their words versus ours. So I'm going to give you a very specific example. Again, when I was coaching new entrepreneurs, I had a 15-year corporate career in sales. And so my job as the director of sales for a digital marketing agency was to drive revenue for the company. So when I left, that job and was marketing online to new entrepreneurs, I was like, I'm going to help you drive revenue. Well, brand new business owners making $0, they don't want to drive revenue. They want to sign clients. Right. So I was using a word that was my word, for my corporate experience about revenue driving, where these people, like, that wasn't even a word they were thinking of. Their businesses were so new and they were so early on in their journey that it wasn't about revenue. It was like, I just need to sign some clients. I just want to quit this full-time job. I just want to stop working for these people I hate. I just want to spend more time with my kids. And so as soon as I made that shift in my marketing to stop talking to them about driving revenue and started talking to them about the opportunity to make more money and spend more time doing things that they enjoyed, our sales went through the roof, right? I was saying the same thing, right? At the end of the day, the result was still drive more revenue, sell more stuff. But I started talking in the words that they were using. Those of you that are experts in your space, this is the hardest part for you because you're so good at what you do and you're so specific and you're so thorough in the work that you do, which is what makes you amazing. But it also makes you suck at marketing because you're trying to talk to people in your language and not theirs. Right? We're trying to talk to people about the things that are important to you and not the things that are important to them, not the words that they're using. When somebody wakes up, I used to say this all the time because I work with a lot of bookkeepers and financial service providers in the past. And, I was like, nobody woke up this morning and wanted to hire a bookkeeper. Like, it doesn't matter how amazing you are. It doesn't matter how important bookkeeping is in your business. And I strongly believe that bookkeeping is an important investment in your business, right? I strongly believe that. But, nobody woke up this morning and wanted to hire a bookkeeper. What they wanted was a better understanding of their finances. What they wanted was a better understanding of their business finances to make sure that they were filing their taxes correctly, that they knew when and how they could invest more money into their business, that they knew what was going in and what was coming out, that they had a handle on their finances so they could confidently make purchase decisions, right? So we're not marketing bookkeeping services. We're marketing confidence in your buying decisions. Do you see the difference between those two things? And when you understand the difference between those two things, you become an infinitely better marketer. You become an infinitely better salesperson because you're not trying to sell bookkeeping. You're trying to sell confidence in your buying decisions, knowing that when you make a buying decision, that it's a good one, that it's financially sound, that you have the data and the information to back it up. Which one are you buying? Right? Because I'm buying confidence in my financial decisions all day long. I'm not buying bookkeeping. So that's what we really need to do, is make sure that we're using their words, the conversation that's already happening in their head. I wrote a post about this on Facebook recently, right? Like, what conversation are they already having in their head about the thing that you do? Like, insert yourself into the middle of that. That's when you know you've got them, right? That's when you know that they're like, oh my God, as soon as I get an opportunity to invest in this, I'm here for it, right? Really, really, really important and powerful. So we have talked about, and I'm just kind of recapping. I've got some notes in front of you. Emotion versus logic, right? Their reasons versus ours. Why 3 times? Empowered versus fear, right? Using the right words. Now I want to talk about features and benefits, right? Again, this tends to be those of us with a little bit more logically brained. We talk a lot about features, right? Here's all the things you're going to get for working with me. Here's the list, the laundry list of amazing things that I'm going to do for you. And that's great, right? I love that. I love you. I think you're amazing, right? All of those things. But really, at the end of the day, people care about the benefits, not the features, right? They're not buying the features. They're not buying the weekly call, right? They're buying the fact that the weekly call means you're never going to have to figure this out on your own. You're never going to go more than 7 days without getting personalized support on achieving your goal, right? That's why they're buying. They're not buying weekly calls. Nobody gives a shit about weekly calls. What does the weekly call get them? right? If you're going to, for us, we write a lot of social media content. We're like, cool, we're going to write 20 social posts a month for you. I don't care, right? Chat GPT can write me 20 social media posts. What is the benefit of having you write my social media post, right? Like that's my cross to bear as a marketer. I have to be able to tell you why the benefit of working with me, the benefit of working with my company, the benefit of having a human write your content instead of AI, right? Like I have to prove all of that in my marketing. So we get hung up on features of our offers a lot and features of the things that we do for our clients. But when we really talks about why do they buy the benefit, right? They're not buying the feature. They're not buying the weekly call. They're not buying the 20 social media posts. They're not buying, the reporting that you send them every month. They're not buying, the group coaching call or the Slack community or, whatever it is that you think, the templates and all of that. That's not what they're buying. They're buying the benefit that gets them, right? Having this template is going to save you endless amount of time and figuring out X. That's why they're buying. They're not buying the templates. Somebody woke up this morning and asked for a template. They're like, damn, I wish it didn't take me so long to write a sales page. And really, again, understanding the difference between those two things and marketing to the benefits and not the features is going to change everything in your results, but it's also going to help you make sure you attract the right fit clients. Another thing that I really want us to be clear on when we're marketing and understanding why people buy is the identity of who they get to become by working with you. Obviously, I'm big on identity work. It's been a huge part of my journey. I've gone through this massive identity shift over the past few years. I feel like the hits just keep coming. But like, what is the identity of the person who works with you? What is the identity of the person that works with you? This is probably not a question that you have been asked before. So this is one you're going to want to write down and actually do the homework around. What is the identity of the person who works with you? Because you want to speak to that identity, right? You want to speak to the person. So let's go back to my bookkeeping example, right? Again, we're not buying bookkeeping. We're buying confidence in our buying decisions. And the identity of a business owner who has confidence in their buying decisions is, they can show up for work every day and like have that peace of mind, be the best version of themselves, serve their clients in the best way because this stuff's all already handled, right? You're not the frazzled business owner who's behind by your bookkeeping, who isn't sure, who is scared, who is afraid, who is constantly worrying about, oh my gosh, money in, money out. What's this look like? Am I filing my taxes correctly? Right? That person is burnt out. They're frazzled. They're unorganized. They're a little bit of a rookie. There's that. And then, but what's the identity of the client once they can make confidence in their buying decisions, right? They have all these things handled for them. Selling them that identity. What is the identity of the person who has all of those answers? And that is a really huge one, right? Because they want to identify with that empowered, powerful, confident CEO or business owner, because that's who they want to be. If that's who they want to be, right? That's what they're going after. So really selling the identity. So for us, a lot of the problems our ideal clients have is inconsistent revenue, right? So what is the identity of the business owner who doesn't have inconsistent revenue, right? Our clients are confident as fuck, right? Pardon my French. But like they're confident, they're showing up powerfully, they're getting visible, they're helping people, they're owning their power, they're being the best version of themselves, they're saying what they want to say, and they're attracting the best fit clients ever, right? So they have this empowered thing happening for them because they know exactly who they're marketing to versus, oh, I'm not sure and I don't know what to post and it's just inconsistent and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't and I think maybe I'm on the wrong platform, right? So when you can tell the difference in those two stories, again, you're understanding why they buy, but then you're also able to market to that really empowered, strong, confident, powerful person that they want to be. So those are my words. Find those words for your people. That's what's really, really important here. And then the final thing that I want to talk about when it comes to understanding why people buy is, are we moving away from pain or towards pleasure? Right? This is something Russell Brunson talks a lot about, is moving away from pain or moving towards pleasure. It is important that you market to both, right? Because we all have people in our audience, in our ecosystems, all of our buyers are going to do a little bit of both. I am a towards pleasure kind of girl, right? Like I don't like a lot of fear-based marketing. I don't like a lot of like away from pain. I like to guide people towards pleasure. Imagine this, like this is how this is going to go. This is how your business looks. This is how you get to show up. This is how much money you get to make. These are the clients you get to call in, right? Like really understanding that. But there is a subset of people that are not going like pleasure is not going to motivate them enough to make a buying decision. So we also have to know, what pain are we helping them move away from? Right? The pain of not knowing where your next client is coming from, the pain of staring at a blank screen, not knowing what to post on social media, the pain of knowing that you have 3,500 Facebook friends and you have no idea how to start a conversation with them. And there's money in that group, but you don't know how to fix it, right? Like that's the pain that I'm helping people move away from. And I still speak to that in my marketing, but I'm overwhelmingly focused on the pleasure. But again, this is just a really great kind of homework assignment for you as a marketer, is to really think about what are those two things. So I'm going to recap all of this for you because I've got some of you on here live with me, but to really understand understanding why people buy. That is the point that we are here to talk about today. Why do people buy? And these are all questions and things to ask yourself to help you put together a marketing framework that's really solid, right? So first and foremost is understanding what are the emotional and the logical reasons why they buy. People buy based on emotion, they justify with logic. A great way to get there is to ask yourself why 3 times, really understanding both of those reasons and marketing to both, right? Remembering that people buy for their reasons, not ours. Always make it about them. What is in it for them? Not what's in it for you, but what is in it for them, right? Do we want empowered buyers or do we want fear-based buyers, right? Like which one are we marketing to? Who are we talking to? Super important, right? Making sure that we're using their words and not ours. We do not use jargon. So what are the words that they are using to describe their problem, to describe their challenge, to describe their pain, to describe their pleasure, really knowing their words, right? Making sure that we are marketing to benefits, not just features, right? People want benefits. What are the benefits of everything in your offer? What are the benefits of working for you? Spend more time there. And then what is the identity of the person who has the result that you provide, and marketing to that, understanding who do they get to become in the transformation that you provide. And I don't use that word lightly, right? Like oftentimes people check out like, oh, she's talking to coaches. I'm not. Right? I'm not talking to coaches. We all provide a transformation for our clients. It doesn't matter how simple or easy or difficult or whatever they are. We all provide some sort of transformation. What is that identity transformation they get to make? And then also, entering the conversation they're having in their head and making sure that we are talking to both moving towards pleasure and away from pain. And when you can really start to think about these exercises and create this framework of your ideal client and really understanding why they buy, now it becomes really easy when you sit down in front of that blank screen to start creating content. It becomes really easy to start conversations. It becomes really easy to push go live and talk to people. It becomes really easy to show up on Instagram and TikTok and short form video, because you really can speak to them, because our most basic human need is to feel seen, heard, and understood, right? So if you get 2 things out of this conversation today, and I'm a little all over the map, is 1, people buy based on emotion and they justify with logic. You have to market to both. And that our most basic human need is to feel seen, heard, and understood. And if you can cover both of those things by answering the questions that I've given you here today, you are going to become an infinitely better marketer, whether it's social media, whether it's video, whether it's email, whether it's your blog. I don't care how you're showing up in the world. Being able to answer these questions and speak to your ideal client very clearly and very powerfully is going to change everything for you. So thank you so much for being here. For those of you live, I really appreciate you. For those in the podcast, we are so glad you're here. And we will see you all next week. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for listening to Content and Conversations. If this was helpful for you, I would love if you would follow along, subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your friends. And we'll see you next week.